Ragiroth Enterprises. Miscellaneous.
Ragiroth here, not my usual location. I'm away for the week. So, with the new Pokemon game officially being announced, Pokemon Sword and Shield, I'm not sure if I'm going to do videos about it that often, but I figured I might as well strike while the iron is hot, and I wanted to talk about some things I would like to see in the game. So I thought about like 8 things, I guess, more general. Some of them more specific, some are more like general things that I'd like to see in the game. This is no particular order. I really couldn't think of a way to organize these. So I'm kind of just going to go in the kind of order I thought of them in my head. So let's get to it. So the first thing I'd like to see on the list, this is one of the more specific things. I'd like to see a dark and electric type Pokemon. Now I know this is like a weird request, but I mean, dark type's one of my favorites. And electric is like kind of my favorite, I guess, sort of more standard elemental, if that's what you want to call it. This is a type combo that has strangely never been done, and I don't really know why. It's not like I think it's a very overpowered typing or even underpowered typing. We've had dark fire, dark water, dark ice, dark grass. So you kind of think that dark and electric would be right around the corner, but for some reason they've still never done it, and they've had Pokemon that I think could pass as that. Arguably Zebstrika. I think Zorora could have, and I think especially Luxray. I think Luxray should definitely have at least gotten a Mega Form or something where it at least makes him dark type. We'll get into that in a bit. But yeah, I know it's a really random request. I just kind of want to see this type done. I mean, of course, watch I say that, and the Pokemon they do looks really stupid. Ideally, what I think would be cool, maybe if it was a Panther. I don't think we've really had a proper Panther Pokemon yet. And playing Devil May Cry 5 and using V's Shadow, that basically is a Panther, definitely makes me want to see a Panther Pokemon even more. So number 2 on the list, another dark-oriented thing, and it is a Dark-type gym. This is another thing that has strangely not been done yet. It is, I think, the only typing to not have a gym. I don't know why. I mean, it's not a huge deal. It would just be kind of cool, because I think I would just like to see what they do with it. I'd like to see what the gym leader would be. And the weird thing is, we've had Dark-type Elite Four members. I know a lot of people say that, oh, well, you know, a Dark-type gym would just be like kind of, I guess, the evil gang, you know, whatever evil group is I guess, the antagonist of the game. It would just be like one of their gyms or something. I don't really think that's necessarily true. I mean, the Dark-type Elite Four, they're not necessarily bad people. What, we had, like, Grimsley. I mean, what, he gambles. Ooh, he's so bad. I think, like, the one girl, I forget her name. I mean, they're not dark, doesn't mean bad. It means more so feral and from the darkness. And I guess, yeah, I know people are like, oh, well, you know, the gimmick would just be like you're in the dark or something like that. But I'm sure they could think of something, you know, aside from that. And we've had so many gimmicks based off of other types multiple times. I don't see why they can think of other things aside from just being in the dark with dark types. So I don't think that's going to happen, though, because I think there's, like, the picture of, like, the map and stuff where you can kind of see things that look like gyms. None of them look like they're going to be dark gyms, so it's probably not going to happen, but we don't know for sure. I'm still going to keep hoping. So now number 3 on this list. I would like to see Mega Evolutions come back. I mean, I know they weren't necessarily missing from Sun and Moon. However, there were no new Mega Forms added for any Pokemon, and you couldn't even access them until you beat the game. Like, what kind of bullcrap is that? It was such a big deal when X and Y came out, like, and even expand upon on Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. I don't understand why you kind of like take away this big feature, or I guess not take away, but kind of push it to the side of the last generation. And like, yeah, I like the Z moves; they're cool, and it is good. It kind of can apply to every Pokemon as opposed to Mega Forms that are just for particular Pokemon they pick. But I don't know, there was just something special about them, especially for Pokemon that are older and I guess haven't really gotten much in a while. It kind of lets them evolve a bit further. No pun intended. Well, I guess pun intended. And I know there's like a rumor that, or leaks from people that were actually guessed a lot of stuff that wound up being correct. They're saying, I think one thing said there's going to be like armored evolutions, and one thing says there's going to be hybrid evolutions. And I mean, they both kind of guessed the name of the game and stuff like that. So one of those could just be, I guess, the new, I guess, sort of super gimmick. That's what I'm going to call them. Which they sound cool. And they at least sound more like Mega Forms. It just sucks. It's like I love the Pokemon games. I just wish Game Freak kind of didn't always take away like these cool features. And so I wish they just kind of built upon it. I mean, granted, it's a problem with a lot of games in general these days, but I feel like Game Freak are definitely notorious for it. So moving on to the next one, this is a very general sounding one, better customization for the avatar characters. Now, Sun and Moons wasn't necessarily bad. The problem is they limited it to the theme of the region, which was, I guess, kind of like Hawaiian kind of thing. So it's like you're kind of always stuck with sort of summer style clothes, and people don't always want to wear that, and that's just kind of a really silly limitation. Like X and Y didn't have that problem. Admittedly, X and Y's wasn't quite as good, but you know, the fashion and all that wasn't exactly, you know, region, I guess, or climate specific. That's the word I'm looking for, climate specific. And I kind of think that's a really silly limitation, because it's like, what if someone doesn't want to wear shorts on their character? What if they don't want to wear like a, I don't know, like a sun visor or sunglasses or something? And my other complaint is, I kind of wish, like, if you saw certain, like, I guess, NPCs with outfits or hairstyles, that you could give your character that. Like, I could maybe understand, like, maybe a certain gym leader with a special look not be able to give your character a look. But then again, even that's dumb, because it's like, what if you really like that gym leader's look and you would love for your character? And that, I don't know. I just think they have to. I feel like they're being very limiting with it. And I understand they kind of just recently started doing it. They just started doing it with X and Y, which it doesn't feel that long ago, but it kind of is at this point. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure it'll get better. It's not that it's not going to get better. They're probably going to make some stupid decisions that will, in some, that are going to be a couple steps back. That's what it seems like with Game Freak, where they're a couple steps forward, a couple steps back. I just hope it's at least as improved as much as they can, and whatever they do take out is very minor, silly things. All right, so number 5 is a new EV form or forms. So now it seems the pattern is every even-numbered generation we get at least one new evolution. Gen 1, well, I mean, Gen 1 is the one exception, but I mean, that introduced Pokemon and EV forms in general. And, oh, by the way, if you hear any weird noises in the background, that's probably the my grandpa's dog that I'm watching, so don't mind that. He's just getting, like, some water right now. But, yeah, Gen 1 was the only one, odd number one, that introduced some evolutions. But, again, it introduced Pokemon. Gen 2, you know, gave us Umbreon and Espeon, my two favorites. That was an even number. Then Gen 4, the next even number one, gave us Leafeon and Glaceon. Then Gen 6 gave us only Sylveon. So I think after kind of Gen 6 just giving us one, and Gen 7 not giving us another one, I think it's definitely safe to say that evolutions are always just going to be even number generations. And we are in one. And I mean, I'd love to see 2. I kind of expecting just 1 if they do that. It just seems like they're adding generally less Pokemon in general these days, which kind of sucks. I understand. I mean, it is a bit of a shame, but I was not that crazy about Sylveon. It is probably my least favorite evolution. The good thing is, I think basically all the types they haven't done are types I think would be cool, and one I think in particular would be cool would be Steel. And I think with the theme of the game being Sword and Shield, with possibly us getting armored evolutions, maybe. And I think some other possible things that kind of suggest, like Metal and Industrial, I think a Steel EV is kind of coming. Not to mention, Steel would be a type, like, you know, say if, because the last one we had was a Fairy type. Steel is super effective against Fairy. And with each evolution, one of the types of the forms is super effective against the other one. So this would kind of complete that, I guess, duo. Or, better yet, they have a Steel one, and then the other one's like, I guess maybe Ground or something. That's, you know, I guess Ground is super effective against Steel, and I forget if any of the other types that are not represented are vice versa, or super effective against Steel. I forget off the top of my head, but you get my point. Steel, I think, would be a great choice. I think it would be a really cool. It's one of my favorite types, so I would love that. I would also be totally fine with Ghost, Dragon, or Poison. I just feel like this game it's lining up to, if anything, if we're going to get one, to be Steel, which I would be fine with. I would probably use that EV a lot. All right, so next, on to the next thing. Number 6. This is a really minor thing, but it's a really minor thing that kind of bugs me. Let you name Pokemon that are traded to you. This is a thing that's been going on since the beginning. If you get a Pokemon traded to you, you cannot change its name. And I kind of think that's stupid. Like, you know, what if you get a Pokemon that you're not able to get in your version? Or maybe a legendary. Oh, see, that's the other thing. It's also tied with event legendaries, where you can't name your event legendary. Like, what is that? What is with that? I know, I think I've heard possibly, and I don't know if this is true or not, so I'll take it as a fact, but possibly the reason they do that is because in Japanese culture if you receive a gift, you're not supposed to. It's something with that, like with receiving gifts in Japan, you're supposed to be grateful for it. And I guess they possibly say like changing the name of the Pokemon is like kind of dishonoring the gift. That's what I think I heard. I think that's. I respect it. I respect them if they want to go with their culture and all that, but it's a damn video game. Like, why does it matter that much? It's not that big of a deal. Like, people trade Pokemon like left and right. Like, just let us name them. Like, it's really not that big of a deal. All I can really say there, though. So for number 7, they have to just embrace downloadable content instead of making these like kind of third versions or sequel versions. It doesn't really help that I feel like every time they do, like at least since like, well, no, Black 2 and White 2 was fine, but Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, they really did not add enough, in my opinion, to justify buying the game again. I think it was great for people that never played the original Sun and Moon, but for people that kind of played Sun and Moon and kind of wanted more, I think it was kind of a letdown. Like, the most exciting thing for it was the one new Ultra Beast. I forget the name of it. It's like the Poison Dragon thing, and then it actually evolves too. That thing looked awesome. But I can't get that till the very end of the game. Like, after I do all this stuff that I basically just did again. So what I just think they should do for the future is just have DLC. Just have new things pop up, new stories pop up, new Pokemon pop up. We don't need a third version. Like, you know, we're on a brand new console that's technically the first time that a mainline Pokemon game is on an actual console, not a handheld, even though I know that console is a handheld as well, but you understand what I'm saying. So just add this stuff via DLC. If it's free, amazing, but I will pay for it. I think a lot of other people will pay for it. Don't make us buy another game just to get more stuff that we for the most part, we have to, at least the exciting stuff, in my opinion, we have to wait till the very end of the game to experience. No, that's stupid. I mean, like, I think like Platinum was fine as well. I don't know, Sun and Moon, I think they could have added a lot more, especially if I'm not doing one after X and Y. I kind of thought maybe they were kind of building up to do an even bigger thing maybe for the next one, and in my opinion, they just didn't. Maybe others would disagree with me. I kind of feel like Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon was a little bit of a slog for me to play because it's like most of the stuff is just the same with very minor differences. So yeah, just please, Game Freak, just add stuff via DLC or free updates. Please, God. Okay, so the last new thing in number 8, I want Alolan forms for non-Gen 1 Pokemon. So, you know, Sun and Moon gave us Alolan forms, but I thought for the most part really cool. I loved some of them, especially Alolan Marowak and Alolan Sandslash and Alolan Ninetales. What kind of sucks is that it wasn't even that many Pokemon, but it was only Gen 1 Pokemon. So I think for this game, I would really like if they added kind of new forms for other Pokemon, more so not from Gen 1. Like, I'd maybe tolerate if, like, you know, the Niddos got something, or maybe like Lapras, but like for the most part, no. Let's focus on giving the other Gen Pokemon things. Like, I know Gen 1 is like the original, and it's what everyone loves the most, but it's like, come on, there's other cool Pokemon from later gens that deserve some love, and it's getting a little annoying with the Gen 1 kind of, I guess, circle jerk over here. I mean, it's like with Mortal Kombat 1 and 2. It's like Dragon Ball Z with, you know, with kind of how they, you know, neglect GT. It's like Gen 1 is basically, you know, or Street Fighter with only doing like Street Fighter 2 stuff and rarely in Street Fighter 3 and very little Alpha. It's kind of just, Gen 1 is kind of that, you know, equivalent of that. I can understand a little more in this case, but it's like, come on, there's other Pokemon they could give other forms to. And I guess they call them, I'm sorry, I forget the name of this generation. It's like Regar? So I guess, I'm looking it up. Okay, so the Galar region. So I guess they'd be called like Galarian forms? I mean, it sounds kind of cool, I guess. But yeah, I thought it was a cool idea. It was just kind of a shame there wasn't even that many of them, and they were kind of limited to just Gen 1 Pokemon. I think if they did that and kind of, you know, even if it was just Gen 2, at least that'd be like something, you know, new. I mean, hopefully they kind of just spread across like all of them. Another thing is, another reason I kind of want Mega Forms back. I know I'm kind of going back on this. Like some generations of Pokemon, like Gen 6 or Gen 7, never got Mega Forms because the Mega Forms were introduced in Gen 6. So I guess, you know, there's more for the old Pokemon. I mean, I know Greninja kind of did. So that's another reason I kind of like Mega Forms to come back. or whatever this new evolution is, if those leaks or rumors are true. So I think that's about it for this video. Oh, by the way, I actually found my Pokemon shirt, by the way. I was meaning to mention that. Thank you so much for checking it out. Let me know what you guys are looking forward to in the new game, what features you'd like, if you agree with any of these, if you disagree with any of these, if maybe you think any of these had a shot at being in the game. Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to check out my friend Mark Hune in the description below. And as I always say, another time, another place. Keep being awesome.